Welcome to Lent. Now suffer. This is Cory. This is the Anthem podcast.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's Rob.
And we are joined today by a very special guest.
Special guest in studio. Flash is here.
Hello, everybody.
So, I meant to ask you, did you do Mardi Gras?
No.
Like no pancakes or anything?
No.
So you've cut out all of the, the
I went to Texas Roadhouse and went a little crazy on the bread, but
right.
That's about it.
And then, Ash, you did the...
No, because as a terrible Catholic,
right.
What I did was I got off work at 4.
No time to go to church. That's way too late.
I got off work at 4. The church that's right down the road wasn't doing ashes until 5, and I said, I'm not waiting around. If it was at 4:15 or 4:30, I would have just gone down and
Wait, right down the road from work or from your house?
From work.
Well, isn't there one right down the road from your house?
Yeah, but I've never been there.
Okay.
I'm not trying to get strange ashes put on me. I don't know where your hands have been.
All right. Probably in the holy water, would be my guess.
Reverend McFeely. I'm not trying to...
Okay, so no ashes then.
No.
So you're unclean for the whole year.
Yeah, no. I just got to do the Lenten thing and...
Yeah, so what are you giving up for Lent?
Coke.
Really?
Yeah.
Again?
Yeah.
Do you think you can keep it up after the Lent's over?
I don't know. We'll see.
No. I'm gonna go ahead and call him no. For everybody listening, playing along at home, that's a big no.
Well, I'll tell you this. I realized how big of a role caffeine plays in my life. Because even though I didn't go to get my ashes on Wednesday, I did fast.
Okay.
And, the fasting is not just the not eating part, but the no,
drinking except water, right?
Right. So I couldn't have, a Red Bull all day.
Oh,
so
no.
It was no caffeine.
No.
And I literally came home from work and was just like, all right, I think I'm just going to watch a little Entourage and lie here. Immediately. Done.
Yeah.
I was asleep so quickly. And it's just because I run so efficiently on caffeine that,
Yeah, I was talking about this to Flash yesterday. I'm like, yeah, so the recipe for success for me is 2 cups of coffee in the morning and then just soda all day just to maintain that high level of caffeine. And then all I really have to do is stop drinking soda for about an hour and I'm out at the end of the day.
Well, and then I found on Mental Floss, they had an article about a bracelet that's like a Fitbit that injects caffeine into you.
Really?
Yes!
Ooh.
I think that it's a Kickstarter, and it is exactly what I have been looking for, and I will be investing solidly in that.
Yeah, I just need, they have those IVs that, open up, a little bit, it's got a timer on it, right?
Get the clicker. You want the clicker. That's
I think it's not necessarily injected in it. I think it's like a caffeine patch.
What I would basically is I would like to have a device on me that monitors my caffeine levels.
Yeah.
And then basically I'd like to wear a utility pack in Ghostbusters filled with pure caffeine.
Okay. A proton pack of
and then it's just caffeine. Injected directly into my blood.
A stim pack, basically.
Yeah, and then every single time that I go below 100 milligrams of caffeine per ounce of blood or whatever.
I think you're gonna die.
See, I can't.
whatever I'm currently running on, I need to just anytime I fall short, it's just psst, in there Nas and just
Yes, I'm good to go. I can't imagine it's good for your health. Maybe we should work on the teddy bear T-shirt first, and then
no, but that will get him into the teddy bear T-shirt because the caffeine will.
You won't eat.
Well, so I have
metabolism.
Yeah, now that I have health insurance,
yes,
and I'm paying dearly for it.
Use it.
I have a appointment for LASIK.
Okay.
And I have a doctor's appointment, and I have a dental appointment, all, stacked, week by week by week.
Yeah.
And I'm a little bit nervous about the doctor's appointment, because I imagine that I'm going to go in there, and the doctor is just oh, God. How are you still doing this?
Well, he's just going to walk in and say, literally, you have so much stuff wrong with you that your system just doesn't know what to do. That's the only reason you're still alive.
You smoke, you drink 8 Red Bulls a day, you eat absolutely nothing that's good for you.
A heart-shaped pizza.
And you sleep 4 hours a night. I don't understand how you're living. You're a medical marvel that you made it to 31.
Well, maybe your like cells are so overworked that they're like running on all the adrenaline, and that's why you need all the Red Bull, because your cells are really just like they need the boost to heal everything. Keep you alive.
And that also explains the hibernation cycles that you go through, where like if you don't, you just sleep forever.
Yeah.
So much like a bear. A polar bear.
Well, Rob will know this because he lived with me. There were at least once a month, regardless of how much caffeine was injected into me, I would just go to sleep and then sleep until the morning. Like I'll come home in the afternoon and then I'm just out for 18 consecutive hours and then
up again, restart.
Yeah,
good to go.
It's basically just like a deep refresh on the
hard reboot. Pull the plug, put it back in. Hopefully
Windows
the plug
updated.
never got pulled. Yeah. But, so...
just get the cache
clear out the cache. Yeah, exactly. A little bit of news occurred just before we started today. And it's so sad.
I'm pregnant. Is that what it was?
Congratulations. Oh, shit.
Not going to take the bait. I'm going to go back to my shtick. Hang on. So what I was going to say is it's very sad. It's very sad news. Unfortunately, our beloved Justice Scalia has passed away. So can we take a moment of silence for Justice Scalia?
Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah, so for those of you who may not be so familiar with Justice Scalia, I don't know how familiar you are with Justice Scalia.
I know he has like 20 children.
Does he?
He has 10 children, yeah.
So I didn't even know that.
I think the question you should ask yourself prior to going into this conversation, as a listener,
yes,
is just say to yourself, how many Supreme Court justices are there? And then come up with the answer, like write it down. Mm-hmm. Just go like 17,
right? And
then Google it. And if you're within 2, you can continue listening.
Otherwise, go to the sidebar.
Go to the sidebar, or just listen and learn. Like maybe.
Okay, and so for
like,
everyone,
isn't Clarence Weatherspoon a Supreme Court justice now? Once he retired from the 76ers, didn't they give him that spot?
So there are 9. Oh, I'm sorry. There are 8 Supreme Court justices. There are 9.
There's 9 seats.
9 seats. They are appointed by the president and confirmed by the Senate with the advice of the Senate, although that becomes a confirmation now. And Scalia was the longest-serving Supreme Court justice, appointed by Reagan.
Yeah.
And that fact should tell you everything you need to know about Justice Scalia. Basically, he has been a boot on the neck of free Americans for... Well, I shouldn't say free Americans. He's been a boot on the neck of socially conscious Americans for about 3 decades now.
Well, I mean, if you hear an article that says something like, Supreme Court Justice says crazy quote about blank...
Probably Scalia.
Yes. Dollars over donuts, it's Scalia.
Yeah. Something about, women belong in the home and not in the workplace. That's probably Scalia.
Yeah.
And then has the gall to be like, listen, I got an opinion about this women's rights issue. Let me offer my opinion. Yeah, so... I posted an
God,
image. It's
cold outside like his heart.
That's what you get. That's what you get.
That's what you get, Scalia.
So I posted an image, and everybody should be following me at Robert and Cheek, or at LegendCB5, or
on Instagram now.
On Instagram, Corey's back on Instagram.
I'm back on Instagram now that
sidebar. By the way, take a quick sidebar
right up front. Instagram has finally allowed for multiple accounts.
Thank you, Instagram.
Yeah, thank you.
The greatest Valentine's Day gift I could have received.
Because now I can switch between Legend CB5 and the Anthem. Because I wasn't going to be logging in and logging out and all this. I don't got time for that bullshit.
How many alerts did you have when you finally logged into Legend CB5?
None.
Really?
Oh, that's so sad.
No. I had none, like...
Nothing
popped
up.
Yeah, it's not like it was like... Boop, 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 boop.
Right.
It just, like, I would just go through and see things.
It was just like...
Oh, God.
years of alerts of being tagged by me and stuff. Yeah.
And Chelsea, like, was just like, we were on the group chat. She's just like, finally, after 2 years, Cory follows me back on Instagram. And then I just found a post from 2 years ago and liked it randomly. And it was just like, there you go. It's like I never it's like this never happened.
But it's crazy that they giving up. What's that?
I just wanted to make sure there was a little like circulation going.
Fair enough. Okay, but they're like late to the party. Everybody else lets you switch back and forth. Twitter is so super easy with the like switching back and forth.
Oh, and now with the I guess we're in the elusive club of the beta test
of the Instagram.
No, on Twitter.
Why is that?
Aren't you on the new Instagram beta?
Wait,
or on the new Twitter beta? I'm sorry.
What's the Twitter beta? It's
like did they send you the developer model?
I don't know. It downloaded something?
Did you get emailed about like, do you want to be a Twitter developer?
Yeah.
And then you accepted it?
Yeah.
And then you got a new Twitter?
I mean, it all looks the same to me, but I don't really know what's different about it.
Well, the thing that I really like is that there used to be a time and place where, so a little inside baseball here, I have favorites on the Anthem digital Twitter.
Right.
So that if, something gets posted from the Anthem and needs to be retweeted or from Dirty Shore or something like that, then I can just do it quickly. And then what I used to have to do was, back out of the tweet and then go to switch accounts and then find the tweet and then do it again.
Right.
Now I can switch accounts from the tweet.
Right, yes.
Which has made my life significantly easier.
Okay, yeah. So Twitter's
I follow Rob too on with the updates on the Anthem digital one. Right. So if there's something that Legend CB5 wants to retweet or favorite, I can easily just like boop, switch accounts,
touch the corner.
Yeah.
No, I do enjoy that because when you're trying to hide behind aliases, sometimes Founding Future on Twitter, it makes it easier.
Facebook
and on Facebook and on Instagram. Then it makes it easier to switch back and forth. So I do enjoy that.
We'll get to.
Do you want to get to that?
No, we'll do that later.
Okay. Anyway,
what I would like is for us to talk about other subjects, and then people tune out by the end, and then
then we can talk about it.
Yeah, we only have like 4 people listening by the end, and then.
All right, so.
And then I can do the views of Robert N. Cheek. Not those.
So Scalia has unfortunately passed. I will never champion the death of a man, and it's tragic for his apparently 10 kids. I didn't even know he had 10 kids. But I did post a picture that was like the Munchkins celebrating, and it was news of Scalia's death reaches the people. # ding dong. But I mean, he really has been a force to keep I don't want to say freedom, because it's not really freedom, but just like social movements going forward. He's been a big break on all of that. Like,
well, didn't he write the dissenting opinion on the gay marriage and
on the
Obamacare and
the Texas bill that made sodomy made sodomy unconstitutional? Dissenting opinion. The gay marriage bill, dissenting opinion. Obamacare, dissenting opinion.
What's your opinion on the Michigan? Not getting to Flint, but getting to sodomy.
And blowjobs.
And blowjobs.
I'm just going to steal something I saw online and say that we should arrest everyone in the Michigan legislature because they have been fucking the entire state in the ass for about 2 years now. So, now it's ridiculous, and their justification is everything that's wrong with the way the government works. I don't know if you saw what one of the legislators said, like the leader of the bill. He said, "Listen, I filed an amendment to get the language taken out, and they said that would kill the bill. And the reason the bill got put in the first place is because they had never made it illegal to have oral or anal sex with an animal. Only strictly gender correct sex with an animal. So a man could not have sex with a female animal, otherwise not illegal in the state of Michigan. So the original draft of the bill created this general sodomy law. And he said, I put in the amendment, and they said it would kill the bill, and we wanted to get the bill through, and we know that we trust that the police won't enforce it in the way that we don't intend." And I was like, oh, Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, well, not against you. But he's old and white. But
my question is, how many people are screwing animals that we need to make this a priority?
that's the big question. I would suggest that probably more than you think.
And not only that, but what you do with Bessie behind the privacy of your own doors.
Don't do that. Because here's the thing. Don't equate what human beings do with what a man does or a woman does with an animal. It's not the same thing.
I wonder if there's somebody in Detroit right now who's trying to use this as like a get out of jail free card, like essentially a get out of jail card on Valentine's Day. Like, listen, honey, you know I love going down on you.
But it's illegal now.
It's illegal and
felony, 15 years in prison. I got 2 strikes, baby. I got 2 strikes. That's life for me.
Listen, I'm not trying to go to jail for life just to go down on you.
Yo, that shit's good, but it ain't worth a life, all right? You know
Listen,
what I mean?
I gave you a single rose. I gave you a Snickers bar. What more do you want?
Heart-shaped pizza.
Heart-shaped pizza.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous, but, I mean, listen, as much as Adnan Syed and Making a Murderer
and O.J. Simpson
are showing us what a farce our system is, this is just another thing that... I saw, like, the best tweet of the week, in my opinion, was this tweet that said that generations of Americans stand up and create great societies. And then we go to sleep. And then one generation later, the children wake up and go, wait, what the fuck? Like, that is what we're going through right now.
TP. Oh, sorry.
Exactly. But, I mean, our grandparents created this from the struggle of the Depression, create this great country, and then they basically say, hey, Junior... You got this. Take care of it. And then they ruin everything, and now our generation is standing up and being like, wait a second. Maybe we should do something about this. We don't have to leave it this way. And we're fighting against the fact that another story I saw that I posted, thank you, time up, last year, was that more 18 to 30-year-olds are living at home than ever in the history of America, including the time in which people lived at home because... you lived in the manor house, and everybody worked on the farm. You know, like even now more people are living at home than then. So, I mean, because it's the economic disadvantagement. So, it's a symptom of a sick system, and we'll get to my solution later on. FoundInTheFuture.us.
Well, getting back to a sick system, Scalia.
Apparently he was sick. Nobody knew.
What do you think the odds are that the Republican Senate lets Obama throw in another justice on his way out?
Slim to none.
You think they just try and kick that can down the road as much as...
here is the interesting thing about it.
Just not approve anybody?
They will... If Obama is smart, he will nominate somebody now. Make it an election issue. You know, nominate somebody ASAP. Make it an election issue. Hopefully swing some seats back, because then from January 3rd, when the Senate returns, until January 21st, when the new president's inaugurated, he will have 3 weeks to get a to get a confirmation through. And God help us, President Trump, President Cruz.
The Senate doesn't go back into session until January 3rd?
Yes. The new Congress will be in session on January 3rd.
Oh, I know, but I'm saying the Senate meets between now and then, right?
No, but I mean, that make it an election issue.
Yeah.
Hopefully we swing some seats in the Senate. Get the Senate back with a supermajority.
Right.
And then you have 3 weeks of a supermajority in the Senate and the President Obama still in office. Because he won't leave until the 21st.
Right.
Till 10 a.m. on the 21st. So we'd have 3 weeks to get a justice through. And it's bad form. It's super bad form. Because after the November election, you're not supposed to do anything that really impacts the incoming president. But
I mean, I'd try and push it right now. Like,
I think but the problem is that if you don't have a supermajority, what do? They can block it. They can just filibuster it in the Senate. Yeah,
but making it... See, this is where Obama excels over almost any politician that we've had in the last, ever, really. Okay. Is that he still has clout amongst the people.
Right.
Where, if the Senate, fucking... just doesn't approve anybody, and he keeps pushing out names,
right,
and saying basically saying this person is perfectly qualified. There's no reason that you really have grounds to say no.
Right.
You're purely doing this politically and making an issue about a Republican House, which is just going out of control. Like, I think there's a better chance of riling up people to.
Well, and on the plus side, there are several senators.
Because there's people who are thinking about who they're going to be voting for Congress and Senate right now who who completely forget about Ted Cruz and the rest of his cohorts shutting down the government.
Yeah.
And how fucking horrible of a disaster that was.
Like I said,
it doesn't even come up in the presidential debates.
Well, that's because
we've had eight Republican debates.
Nobody wants
and not once has somebody said, Ted Cruz, why did you shut down the government?
Yep. Well, again, I would make it an issue, push it for the elections, but assume that nothing's going to get through. But keep in mind, there are several senators out on the presidential campaign trail right now, and only one of them hasn't missed a vote. Care to guess which one that is?
I don't know.
Missed a vote?
No, one of the senators who is out on the campaign trail has not missed a single vote.
Oh, Bernie?
Senator Sanders.
Yeah.
However, Senator Cruz and Senator Rubio
they didn't really vote.
Well,
to begin with.
Well, they weren't really working to begin with. But they've missed votes as well. So they found it was more important to be in Iowa and this is the benefit of the highly contested Republican side is that Bernie is like, hey, listen, I don't even show up and I die in Iowa, so I'll go vote. It's fine. I have a job and I go do the job and then I come back. So it's good. I think the bigger issue is that looking forward, people should keep in mind that the next president is going to get to do this probably a couple of times.
Yeah.
Because we are getting an older Supreme Court. I
mean, when we heard that Scalia died, I think one of the first things that we jumped to was, aren't there people who are a lot older?
Yeah.
That probably are closer to, not to be morbid about it, but Ruth
Bader Ginsburg
is 92.
She looks like a skeleton already. No offense,
and Clarence,
no disrespect to her, but Clarence Thomas is also older, I think.
Isn't he 84 or something like that?
They're all late. Other than John Roberts, who's 44, and then Sotomayor is in her early 50s.
Yeah.
Kagan's in her mid to late 50s, and then we have a big jump to 70s.
And
80s.
Obviously, anything could happen.
Oh yeah,
somebody could have just a heart attack, and
John Roberts. Sorry, what?
Somebody could just have a random heart attack, but
or a car accident,
or whatever,
crash, or anything, but you don't never know. But yes, they are getting
cancer
older.
Or anything. But it, if you go by the thought that natural death is just going to become some of these people over time, then obviously the older ones are the ones that you'd be looking at, and we have two that look like they're within the range of acceptable.
Well, and I think more than that, because they're rich and white, but for the most part, you're talking 70s and 80s. There are four of them that are in their 70s and 80s. So
and
Thomas isn't white.
Where does Ginsburg lean again? She's
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yeah, she's
to the left.
Yeah,
she's appointed by Clinton.
And Clarence is towards the right.
Appointed by Bush, the first. Yeah.
So, we got, if we're talking about these three, Scalia, Ginsburg, and Thomas.
Yeah.
We're looking at two Republicans and one Democrat, basically.
Essentially.
Friend of Republican, friend of Democrat.
Appointed by, yeah.
Left or right-leaning, traditionally.
Well, and I think that Ginsburg is far... Democrats tend to appoint centrist judges, and Republicans appoint crazy right-wing judges.
Right.
Ginsburg was considered a centrist, except for on reproductive rights. And she was appointed after the 92 Pennsylvania case, which narrowly upheld Roe versus Wade. And so Clinton pushed her through in an effort to secure, along with Sandra Day O'Connor, this court that will uphold the women's right to choose. So she got pushed through kind of on that issue, but otherwise she's a centrist, and she comes down on what I would consider the wrong side of some cases sometimes. But Scalia was as predictable as any judge I've ever seen.
Right.
If I hear what the topic is, I can tell you what Scalia is going to say.
He was the Fox News of the court.
He was the Fox News of the court. And then we do have our CNNs of the court, but Ruth Bader Ginsburg's like the MSNBC. That she's generally going to come out on the left-hand side, but then
every once in a while she
Morning
throws
Joe
a
comes
curve.
out.
Yeah.
You know, Joe Scarborough's out here, talking about whatever. So
Right.
You never know. But the next president, whoever that may be, keep in mind when you're going into the voting booth, is going to appoint someone somewhere between the ages of 40 and 60. George W. Bush
Who's
appointed
gonna have,
somebody who's going to be on the bench for the next 40 years.
Yeah.
And John Roberts is going to get to decide the fate of these cases for 40 years.
And think about the things that could be on the horizon, too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's issues that haven't made it to the Supreme Court in a really compelling case that very well might within the next 10 years, let alone the next 40 or 50. I mean, you know, if you think about... there hasn't really been a compelling case against the right of privacy.
Right.
I mean, at some point...
Digital privacy, especially.
Yeah, I mean, does the... all it takes is somebody to sue the government or sue the state over, evidence obtained illegally through an illegal wiretap based off of information gotten from the phone, which...
Did you hear what the Maryland Attorney General said, by the way?
Oh, yeah, turn off your phone.
If you don't want to be tapped, turn off your phone.
Yeah.
Thanks, Attorney General.
Yeah.
Made me feel real safe. Yeah.
No, but I'm saying, like, if all of a sudden, some random guy gets arrested for murder because his metadata showed that he was in the area of when the murder happened, even though there's no other compelling evidence against it.
Right.
So Adnan Syed.
Well, no, because that was cell phone data.
That was used off of call data, too, which is a little bit different, as opposed to, just GPS tracking data.
Well, and he became a suspect because he was, and we were talking about this last night, he was the ex-boyfriend, which,
right.
The misogynist that I am, I hate the fact that the ex-boyfriend is always the suspect number one, but the ex-girlfriend is never suspect number one. It's always like, all right, so what dude did he have problems with? But if a woman dies, it's like, okay, so ex-boyfriends around or like stalkers or anything.
Right.
But anyway, let's stop. So, but I mean, the cell phone data supported the story that the ex-boyfriend would do it. There is, I'm certain on the horizon, a case that will say, well, we searched through cell phone records and found that her phone or his phone and your phone were pinging the same cell sites, and your metadata shows that you were very near, very close to the cell phone of the victim, wherever that was. And then all of a sudden, the victim's cell phone stopped moving, and we found the body there, and yours went back home. And how does that that going to play out as far as privacy is concerned? It might not be cell sites; it might be mobile Google tracking on your phone, on your device.
GPS data, whatever.
The constant tracking that Google does.
Right. But I mean, whatever it is, it could... A case like this could reach the Supreme Court, and if you have, a Republican bench, then, can welcome to the police state for the rest of your life.
Welcome to it?
Well, I mean, it's locked in at this point.
Okay, yeah,
you're not going to have a compelling... Because once the Supreme Court rules on something like that, it's going to be hard to come up with a case that's going to trump that ruling.
Or
so, I mean, because so much
defined by it.
Right, so much...
In most cases, yes, this applies, but this one case is different.
Well, I mean, I don't have to tell you, but to everybody who's listening right now, I mean, if you can pull a case that has been ruled in Maryland or federally or by the Supreme Court as... precedent for your case.
Yes.
Well, in, Robert Cheek versus the state of Maryland...
Which is probably soon incoming. Yes.
They ruled that it's not illegal to have your pants off as long as you're not doing anything at the time. So I don't see why my client should be held to any particular, that sort of thing. But a Supreme Court case basically, ends the discussion.
Yes.
And, that's why it's so hilarious that there's people like Kim Davis who just say whatever.
And again, keep in mind, and I mean, it seems, I know that people might think that, new cases come up all the time. Yes, they do. But the court often says, we already heard about this, and we ruled. Plessy versus Ferguson was ruled in 1854. That wasn't changed until Brown versus Board of Education in the 1960s.
Yeah.
So separate but equal was established in the 1850s, and then it became the precedent until 110
years later. Yeah.
100 years later, yeah. So, I mean, keep in mind that when you say that new cases come up all the time, it's true. But when that first case gets there and it gets decided, it can control for a very long time.
Right.
unless it's reproductive rights, and then we're going to hear about that all the time. We'll take every one of those cases because anyhow.
Well, because they're always going to find some reason why one thing doesn't apply anymore, and something like that, like.
And like Bush, Bush versus Gore, where this is the only time this applies. I
saw somebody on Facebook, I think, who today like posted a picture of like a stillborn fetus at 12 weeks or whatever.
Which,
it was
by
just
the way,
like,
wasn't at 12 weeks.
Oh, I know, but I'm saying like they said the thing like like this is a 12-week-old, and you're saying this isn't human.
Yeah,
that sort of thing. Like at some point, one of these types of cases going to get elevated to. The Supreme Court, and it's like ruling against at what point can an abortion happen? At what point is... Right.
By the way, one of the best trolling things that I did was to post on not a message board, but in the comments of something, a cat fetus at 20 weeks, and I was like, can you not agree with me that this is a human life? Lots of support. And then I waited for everybody to get their stuff out, and then tag the link that it was see... All fetuses look the same this far along.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. By the way, also proves evolution, you crazy religious nuts. All fetuses look the same this far along. Anyway, but another good case that the Supreme Court's probably going to have to hear on without Scalia. Trump versus Cruz.
Yeah, Eduardo Cruz.
Eduardo. I love that,
we're recording this before the Republican debate, which happens at...
Later tonight.
Yeah. In 23 minutes.
But assuming that it's going to be Eduardo all night long.
I like to... If Trump's going to still go with his shh, quiet to Bush in the 7th debate, then I'm sure he's going to start whipping out on Eduardo.
But at least he's an equal opportunist.
Insult everybody?
Yeah.
But I love that both sides are treating it like an insult. Ted, your name is Eduardo.
Yeah.
That's your given name.
Right.
Don't be listen, I don't need him hurling insults at me. He's calling you by your first name.
Right.
Listen, if you call me Rob, I can't be whoa, listen.
Well, I mean, if you call me William, then, I don't have a leg to stand on and saying, hey, that's unfair. But I can make the argument, listen, nobody calls me that.
Right.
Nobody knows me as that.
And that's a fair argument, but when Ted Cruz is getting defensive by saying, whoa, we shouldn't be hurling insults at each other.
Right.
Dude, that's your name.
Why is that insulting? Let's talk about that.
Well, because he's got the same issue Marco Rubio does, which is he's very fair-skinned and wants people to forget he's Latino, except for the Latinos
the last name of Cruz as well.
Right, but he wants Latinos to remember he's Latino and the whites to think that he's white.
Yeah,
that's the best way. But so for those who don't know, we kind of went off on a tangent there. Trump supporters clearly not at his dictate at all.
Yeah,
just clearly he would never call him a pussy. It was somebody else at the event that called him a pussy. So just
when Hillary was arguing during the last Democratic debate that she has nothing to do with what her super PAC does.
Right. Yes.
Listen, legally, I'm not even allowed to talk to them.
Right.
So they just do their own thing.
Right.
It has nothing to do with what I say or do.
Yes. We legally can't even be in the same room at the same time.
I mean, if they just happen to be there and they don't identify themselves, then how am I supposed to know? But,
if they walk, if maybe my staff is having coffee the same place their staff is having coffee and things are overheard, I don't know. We can't really say.
Just picture two booths, they're facing backs to each other.
It's a spy film where they're sitting on a bench. They're like, yeah, can you hear me? Okay, good.
Hillary campaign, this booth right here. Hillary super PAC right over here. Table 4, table 5.
Or they sit them at the wrong place. Can we sit over by the window? Yeah, but, the campaign's over there, and I think federal law says... Window!
To the window! To the wall!
Can that be Hillary's new campaign song? Instead of fight song?
Instead of fight song, it's to the window. Hillary comes out.
She comes out. Oh, skeet, motherfucker. Come on, millennials, vote for me.
This song is still popular, right?
Even better, Bill comes out too. Oh, skeet, motherfucker. 2 on the nose, Bill. 2 on the nose.
Hillary.
Literally on the nose. Anyway, so Trump supporters, to get back to it. Some people who support Trump, but independent of him, have filed a lawsuit in federal court asking for a declaratory judgment, essentially, that Ted Cruz cannot be president, that Eduardo Cruz cannot be president, because although he has blood citizenship, he does not have birthright citizenship. Right. We've addressed this a little bit on previous podcasts about how John McCain technically wasn't born in the United States. He was born in the Panama Canal Zone, but that is a U.S. territory, and there are a lot of presidents.
Wasn't his father on active duty at the time?
His father, yeah, he wasn't just out of the country; he was on active duty.
Right.
And if two people who are citizens are traveling out of the country, and then you have a baby, that baby is still a citizen of U.S. because both parents are citizens. But for Ted Cruz, only one of his parents was a citizen. No, neither of them were. No, yes, one of them was. But
his mother.
His mother was a citizen of the U.S., born in Canada. His father was a citizen of Cuba, also in Canada, and then he came to the United States after he was born.
Right, so, but I mean, didn't he live in Canada for a period of time?
Yeah.
How long was that?
Some part of his childhood, 3, maybe? I don't follow Ted Cruz, so I can't really say for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, I seem to... I mean, it's not like...
It wasn't a trip. No, he was
right,
living there.
It's not like, like, hey, we're taking a family vacation to Calgary. Oh, no, Eduardo was born.
Right.
Like...
No.
Eduardo, you came early. How are you ever going to be president now?
Get back across the border!
Just walking across the bridge. Like,
holding the head in.
The bridge from Calgary.
Wait, is there... No, Calgary's pretty far.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know my Canadian geography, but I'm pretty sure that's pretty far.
It's a pretty far walk.
Okay.
But I'm saying...
Waddle. Let's be fair.
Only 3 more hours.
Ted Cruz's ears are keeping him from falling out.
Oh, that big ass head.
What I want in the video up here is just
video.
In the video up here is just a like a plain white background.
Yes.
With Ted Cruz upside down, just like up to the ears, like
at the top of the screen,
or maybe like just the eyes, like hanging out the bottom.
Bald spot. Featured prominently.
Just combed over so slightly.
Ever so
gently.
You should definitely make that image and then send it to me right in the video.
I'll work on it.
But so there was a big thing that happened when the country was first founded. That a lot of people who probably wanted to be president, and even years after it was founded, weren't president because they didn't even run, because they were born in places that were not yet territories. Places like Kentucky that were outside of the U.S. So the U.S. gets the Northwest Territories. That's not Kentucky. Kentucky became a state because a bunch of people moved there and then said, hey, we're a state now. Can we join the U.S.? And we were like, yeah, sure. It was Indian land, and we just basically took it by occupation.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
the U.S. doing that?
Yeah. Tennessee.
I don't believe white people did something like that.
So then, people from Kentucky got a little inbred and a little crowded, so people went across the river into Tennessee, and the same thing happened. We just took over land and said, "Hey, we're a state." So people from the area that would become Kentucky, who were born there before it was Kentucky, couldn't run for president because even though they might be good leaders, they would say, "Well, the Constitution clearly says you have to be a natural-born citizen." At the time. Although where I was born is now part of the U.S., at the time I was born, it wasn't part of the U.S., therefore I cannot be a citizen. Alexander Hamilton, who had a major part in the founding of the country and became the first Secretary of the Treasury and is featured on our money, could not be president. Because although all of that, he was technically born in the Bahamas, which was, by the way, also part of the British Empire, and then he came to America. None of the founding fathers born in the United States.
Yeah.
None of them born here.
Wait,
all born in the British Empire.
Would that mean they're immigrants?
They're all immigrants.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's weird. Anyway, so it's this weird line that we draw because technically the first 5 presidents weren't born in the United States.
Well, here's the thought.
That's not true because the son of John Adams, John Quincy Adams, was born in the United States.
Here's the thought. If let's say they get around to this case fairly quick.
Which they will.
Because they want to have it settled so it's not a hanging over.
Most likely the Supreme Court will say, we'll take that. And they'll just pull it up from the lowest federal court and say, it's going to end up here anyway, so let's just pull it up here and we'll hear it.
Right.
Well, although maybe not now, because now we got bigger fish to fry. But
yeah. But so let's say they rule in favor of Cruz, essentially.
Yes.
And say, no, he could run. It's fine.
Right.
He's a senator. He's proven that he's, a member of this country, basically.
That's enough.
Well, I know. But I'm saying, let's just say that's the argument that comes out.
Yeah.
Under that hypothetical argument, or that decision, how quickly do you think Arnold Schwarzenegger jumps into the race?
Not at all.
Not at all?
I guarantee you that becomes another Bush v. Gore, where they say, we are offering a declaratory judgment, and we are going to say, this has no precedential value, and it can never be relied on again. Any other cases we will have to hear on their own merits. Because if everybody remembers, take yourself way back to January of 2000, when there was a contested election between the man who would become president, George W. Bush, and the man who won the election, Al Gore. Two separate people, same election. And the Supreme Court said, we're going to hear this case, and they heard arguments, and then for the first time in the history of this nation, the court said, here's a judgment, and you cannot rely on this ever again in the future. That whole thing about precedents we were talking about? No, doesn't apply to this one case.
Yeah.
This one case is a single solitary thing. So essentially, the precedent that was set by that is that cases involving elections, they can exclude from precedents.
Yeah.
So they set a precedence that it's not precedent. So I think that Schwarzenegger will... he has apparently started petitions before, or people who likes and support him have started petitions to remove the birthright, that change it to natural-born citizen or naturalized citizen for 10 years.
Because maybe the only way this whole thing can get crazier... Schwarzenegger.
But
you get Trump and Schwarzenegger and Cruz and
then who will do
Jeb
Celebrity
Bush.
Apprentice? Because wasn't
that's
he
right.
gonna do
he's going to be the new...
He's doing Celebrity Apprentice.
Maybe it's the launching point to a presidential campaign.
It's the new Secretary of State.
Yeah.
Forget birthright.
Yeah.
You need
Fuck
to
Vice
be-
President. Fuck Secretary of State. Just Celebrity Apprentice to the White House.
Did you see his Snapchat, by the way?
Yes, get to the
Yeah,
chopper.
he's sitting on the roof.
Yeah.
Like, oh, God, Schwarzenegger's still nailing it. Good for him. But yeah, so...
Not in Terminator Genesis, though. That god-awful nonsense.
I didn't actually see it. I should probably see it.
No, don't do it.
Why?
No.
I want to see 1981 Arnold standing next to 2015
don't do
Arnold.
It. Don't do it.
No?
Really don't know.
Well, you know...
Because you know what it does for anybody who likes the old Terminators? It ruins it. Because they fucked the timeline.
Oh, so they've now started over.
Well, no. So what they do is essentially they...
Don't spoil it. I'm going to watch it.
It doesn't make sense.
Okay, well...
So what I'm going to tell you... I'm going to tell you the plot, and you're going to watch it.
Plot.
You're going to watch it, and then you're going to be like, I don't understand anything of what's going on here.
You know what I told Kenny, co-star of the
Dirty Shore
Underground podcast, which you should watch, dirtyshoreunderground.com. Watch and listen to dirtyshoreunderground.com. New episodes every Thursday. The Anthem Network. The Anthem Digital Network. I said if you spoil Deadpool for me, because he was going on Friday, that I was going to punch him in the face. So here's what I'm going to tell you. Go ahead and tell me about Terminator Genesis, and then I'm going to watch it. And if you spoil it for me, the next time I see you, I'm going to punch you live on Periscope. So go ahead. Tell me whatever you'd like to tell me.
I don't want to get punched.
Okay.
Then don't spoil.
All right.
Well, you know what movie?
I'll let you ruin your own.
And then I can come back and be like, shit, I should have just let you tell me what
Yeah.
the story was about.
Save myself the
Or
2
just text
hours.
him. Wait,
Well, no,
what's going on?
because
I'll tweet at you.
any goodness you think you could potentially get from it is
Nostalgia.
not there.
Okay, well,
Because
we'll
it
see.
kills your childhood.
I'm not a movie snob like some people.
It
I enjoy Haxby-ness.
It doesn't take a movie snob. Here's the things that this movie will ruin for you.
And here's how Corey gets himself punched. Go ahead.
Terminator 2.
Okay.
It ruins that for you.
The better of the first couple Terminators.
The only the one of two Terminators worth watching.
Right.
It ruins Emilia Clarke for you.
Oh.
Believe it or not.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
Even after her, all the scenes in the HBO thing.
Well, I haven't seen those, so maybe
haven't
it
seen
doesn't.
it?
No.
Oh. Okay, watch that. That'll renew your faith in her. It'll renew your faith in her. Oh God. Yeah.
It basically ruins. It ruins old Arnold.
Okay.
Like when they have the fight between the two of them,
Yeah.
you're just like, you watch it and you say like, oh, here it comes. This is what I've been waiting for. And then by the end of it, you're just like,
this is sad.
Yeah. Why did I?
Okay.
Well, maybe the rest of the movie will be better. And then by the end of it, you're just like, why did I stay?
Well,
I should have taken that as a hint.
I will watch it and check in. In the meantime, I know there is a movie you are looking forward to. Muggsy.
Yeah.
Due out in 2016.
I can't wait.
First of all, going to be the shortest movie of the year.
Oh, Manny.
Yes, I get to use Manny again. Yeah, so I think Corey may be the only... They may literally sell one ticket.
I'll see it. I'll see it multiple times in theaters, though. I'll be like one of those people who bought like 5 Star Wars showings in a day. I'll be wearing my Muggsy Bogues jersey to it.
In the theater?
Yeah.
And like you start to leave and the manager's like, listen, we got one more showing. You're the only one who's been here all day. Do you want to just stick around and see it again for free? Or
we have a new, if you buy 7 tickets, you get the 8th free deal.
So, I mean...
I'm like, doing like the Under Armour scrubbing with the soap in the bathroom. I'm just like, I just need to freshen up before the next showing.
Here's the thing. I will go see it with you because I want to understand why you like him so much.
Here's why I like him so much.
Are you about to spoil another movie for me? 2 back-to-back. Do you see this? This is what I deal with.
This. It's okay. No. We can get him back with Deadpool.
Okay, that's fine. Oh, that's right. I'll spoil Deadpool for you.
I don't think you could.
He's a sarcastic asshole.
Oh, no, why?
Hangs dong.
He hangs dong.
God damn it, why?
Ryan Reynolds' dong, which wasn't as impressive as I thought it was going to be.
No, I was... Okay, so when I saw that he was going to hang dong, I was like, okay, it's going to be like in The Watchmen. Like, it's going to be...
Dr. Manhattan dong?
Yeah. No, it wasn't as impressive. A lot of full frontal nudity, though.
Oh, lots.
Was it real dong, though?
Yeah.
It was real dong, and it was real...
Yeah.
It wasn't like...
No, it was post-procedure. It was like avocado fucking another avocado.
Right.
But, I mean, it was... my assumption is it's... Ryan Reynolds said it was his, so...
why would you lie about that?
Well, and so here's what I'm going to tell you. Clearly getting laid in Hollywood's more about the abs than it is about anything else, which makes me really want to go work out.
And there goes Ryan Reynolds ever being in one of our flicks. Thank you.
No,
like he sits down at the table. He's just like, "Hey, Corey, it's a pleasure meeting you, Rob."
I'm like, yo, dude, we're in the same boat. I don't know what you want me to say. I mean,
listen, I'd love to sign this $10 million contract to be in your movie, but heard somebody say something on the podcast about the size of my dick, so I think that's gonna be 20.
But then he has Blake Lively, so like,
right? Who is he fucking complaining about? I mean, yes, I knocked up Olivia Munn. It was an accident, but he's got Blake Lively, and they're married.
Modern day Sarah Jessica Parker.
Wait, Blake Lively?
Yeah.
You don't like her?
Yeah.
What?
Are you saying she looks like
Sarah
Jessica
no.
Parker?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
No, I'm just
she's
saying.
Gorgeous. And on Gossip Girl, oh my god.
I'm not in the Blake Lively is absolutely gorgeous camp.
I mean, she's no Amelia Weintraub. No, I mispronounced her first name. What's her first name?
Just quit while you're ahead. Quit while you're nowhere ahead.
In my head, I just translated it to Emilio from like American Dad. Dude.
Emilio Estevez is who you were thinking of. What?
God, wait, no, because it's going to kill me now. What's her name?
Milana
Weintraub. Yes.
Okay, so be with me here. I have an idea.
I'm here with you.
This is. I had this idea earlier this week. I can't believe I forgot about mentioning it before this point.
Okay.
The surefire way to make this the highest rated Oscars of all time.
Okay. Give everybody in America the same baskets that the nominees get.
No.
Because that'll get people watching.
Yeah.
Chris Rock and Whiteface?
No.
Oh, Chris Rock.
That could be funny, but no.
Yes, it would.
So, here's the idea. Plan ahead of time to have Chris Rock quit during the monologue.
Okay.
So Chris Rock, because everybody was saying,
boycott the Oscars?
Yeah, boycott the Oscars.
Right.
Don't do it. Don't go. Fuck them. And he's just like, no, listen, they told me that I can just do whatever I want during the monologue. So I'm going to take that time during the monologue, and I'm going to let them have it.
Right.
And they're cool with it. They know they're not censoring me on this.
Yep.
I'm going to have to do it on network TV, so there's not going to be obscenity and blah, blah, blah. I know how that works, but...
7-second delay, but it's going live, so...
But it's going live.
Yeah.
And I'm giving the hot take. And I would love... here's how you do it. So people are going to tune in for the monologue, at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
End of the monologue. And, you know what? Even though they said I could say whatever I want, I know they weren't expecting this. I quit. Peace, fuckers, and just walk off stage.
Well, not fuckers.
Well, yeah, I mean, peace, bitches. Walk off stage, and then just go to the wide shot of just like people like, just go to commercial, and then Twitter will blow up with like Chris Rock just fucking quit in the middle of the Oscars, and then everybody is going to tune in. There's going to be people who are like literally calling people like, Chris Rock just quit in the middle of the Oscars. It's just like, I got to see what happens here, and then people tune in, and then just have somebody who's like. Assumes hosting duties. I mean, obviously, you're going to have to pick an African American guy.
I was just going to say
Kevin Hart.
Or no, I was thinking just like pick Idris Elba, the crowd, and just be like,
come up here.
Yeah, it's just like he comes up on stage, he's got the mic, he's already going to talk, everything like that. He's just like, obviously, we're doing this a little bit different now. During the commercial break, they asked if anybody was willing to try and make a go of the rest of the show. So here I am. I'm doing what I can. We're going to be sort of doing it live here. So bear with us. But we have a lot of great stuff planned. And then just book the whole show around
the fact that he quit.
That he quit and that somebody is assuming the hosting.
Sure.
Because then you can have there's going to be a big
lots of black faces up on the stage.
Well, not only that, but there's going to be the chance of not being harsh on it. When James Franco and what's her face hosted the awards, Anne Hathaway.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's just like, "Oh man, this is going to be really good." You get two actors up there; they know what they're doing, and neither one of them can host.
Right.
But if you just brought somebody up who was just like sitting there, like enjoying the night, and it's just like, "You have to host the Oscars right now."
Yeah.
And they're just thrust into it, then...
Doesn't matter how much they fuck up.
Right, because they'll be like, hey, they did an admirable job despite not knowing that they were going to host the Oscars that night.
And maybe it doesn't have to be 3 fucking hours long if they do that.
Yeah, they just cut it down a little bit, make it like a 2.5-hour show.
Play everybody off. Like, listen, we're just trying to make it through this thing. We're trying to make it through this thing, that's it.
Just cut out all the needless, like, in-betweens and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just like, so we're just going to streamline this a bit and just go through and...
Yeah.
I got the control room in my ear. We're going to do our best.
Let's go.
The second he quits, you would immediately be going off like, everyone tune into the Oscars. What the fuck's going on?
Yeah. Something just happened.
Yeah.
And you're right. Twitter would blow up and people would all tune in.
And basically all you have to do is have a conversation with Chris Rock and,
we're still going to pay.
Hollywood, basically.
Yeah.
And say, like, listen... we're doing something a little bit different this year.
No, they would ruin it, though.
Chris Rock's going to quit.
Somebody would just say...
Leak it.
Listen, they're trying to pull this bullshit because they want to make it look like...
And then he can never host basically anything ever again, probably.
Well, no, because the inside in Hollywood would be... It was part of the plan that he quit.
This is all a ruse.
And this is not a town that keeps secrets very well. So that's the thing. Is it would leak, and then you look worse after the fact because it's like trying to address the thing not by nominating people of color, but by making a scene. Well, I agree though. Boost ratings for this Oscars. People would tune in. Yeah. So hey, if you're listening, Oscars,
if you're looking for some idea people,
for the third week in a row, Rob has asked for a job.
This is new
on my grand tour of job begging.
But listen, if this turns into we called it,
yes,
I think it's the we called it of the year. I'm just saying, I called Kanye West announcing for president.
The week before it happened.
The week before it happened last year.
Ridiculous.
Give me a little bit of credit for this, is all I'm saying.
And you can actually hear way more about this next week in our special Oscars focus episode. Mm-hmm. Wait, not next week. Is it next week? Yeah, next week. Next week. We'll have a special guest next week, hopefully, and then we'll be doing a
hopefully Jim
Oscars focus. So look for that next week. But what happened last week was the presidential race stumbled into New Hampshire. And
everything got all screwy.
Well, okay. So, I'd like to say that that Bernie won in New Hampshire. I'd like to say that. Mm-hmm. And the popular vote would agree with me.
21 points.
by a lot.
Yeah.
Big margin.
60 to 48, I think, was the...
But...
By the way, just quick sidebar on that.
Yeah.
O'Malley took third, which I didn't think... I mean, like, you know, he's the third candidate.
Yeah.
You know who took fourth?
No.
Vermin Supreme.
Oh, I saw that. Yes.
Vermin Supreme
with the boot on his head.
He came alarmingly close to overtaking O'Malley in votes in New Hampshire.
It's like, okay, so that means
the hits keep coming.
Ralph putting the banana. That dude is Ralph who put the O'Malley banana.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah. Vermin Supreme is actually Ralph in that gif. He's just like, boom, I'm right here behind you. Yeah. Gotcha. What if O'Malley finished fourth behind Vermin Supreme? Oh my God, the embarrassment.
Well, the thing about Vermin Supreme that I love so much is that he's not running seriously. He's a performance artist who's doing this as a
shtick.
Yeah, but
he sees what Trump's doing, and he was like, "Well, if he can do it,
well, he's been
doing this for years and years.
He ran in like 88 for the first time or something like that. Like, and it's always been the same platform: free ponies, like mandatory toothbrushing, zombie preparedness. Like eternal energy by putting zombies on treadmills or something like that.
Like, exactly. It's preparing for the zombie apocalypse and then having unlimited energy by putting zombies on treadmills. So
it's good stuff.
I enjoy him.
You know what? It's not the worst plan of any of the candidates I've heard.
And at least we know he's joking. And with Trump, I want to believe he's joking. So yeah.
You know, if Vermin Supreme just. If Trump wasn't in the race and Vermin Supreme came out and said, yeah, we're going to build a wall to keep Mexico out, and Mexico's going to pay for it. They'd be like, another hilarious prank from Vermin Supreme.
That guy. Yeah.
Oh, man. He knows exactly where that funny bone is.
But instead we take it legitimately.
Now we get people who are just like, yeah, make him fucking pay for it now.
But so Bernie wins by 20 points.
Yeah.
So clearly, that means that he won the majority of the delegates in New Hampshire. Oh.
Nope. You know what he got?
What he got?
Wasserman Schultz.
He got the coin that the double-sided coin that Hillary won.
So Hillary announced that she had a strong head of steam after winning Iowa and New Hampshire. Iowa by 6 coin flips and New Hampshire by superdelegates. Yeah. And I'm trying to figure out who in her campaign is saying it's a good idea to talk about taking momentum out of these two races. Because if I'm Bernie, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I beat you by 20. I almost beat you in Iowa, and then I beat you by 20 in New Hampshire. And the party's doing everything they can to keep you in this race.
Be fair, you know, Bernie was, I mean, in Iowa going like a week out, the prediction was he was going to lose by 10.
Yeah.
And he obviously exceeded expectations by nearly tying.
Right.
And then in New Hampshire, he was up big. And it was a predicted win for Bernie regardless. I don't think it was a 20-point victory, but it was...
I think he was up by 10 in some of the polls.
But I mean, like, I think it was almost as high as like 12 or 13, which is still a huge...
Depending on who you ask. I mean, that's why I hate
if you win by 10 points...
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Yeah. Hillary's big win against Obama in 2008 was by 10 points.
Right.
And so Bernie has now doubled that up.
Yeah.
Except not so
Not
much.
really.
Yeah.
And
because he got Wasserman Schultz.
I'd be really interested to see what happens in Nevada and South Carolina here coming up. We'll
see. Because here's what I'm going to tell you. Hillary ain't popular in South Carolina. Nevada, who knows? Nevada's going to be a crapshoot. Donald's going to kill it in Nevada.
Nevada's a crapshoot, literally.
Oh, see what I did there? But I mean, Donald's going to kill it there because he makes a shit ton of money for that state, and everybody knows it, and he's, everywhere. So that's fine. And I'm expecting Donald to win in Nevada. That's fine. South Carolina, Cruz is going to win. I suspect Rubio is going to come in second in both those contests. And that's
I don't know. Rubio in the debate tonight.
Well,
either he put up a show, or he's done.
Well, and that's going to be the big thing.
And that's because he looked like he came in with all the momentum in the world going into that New Hampshire debate, and Chris Christie bitch slapped him around all night.
Well, on the plus side though, Chris Christie ain't going to be there anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, the game plan was clearly put out there.
Yeah, beat
Christie,
up on Rubio.
Christie made it very clear what you have to do to get Rubio. Just go at him.
Yep.
Because he can't take it.
Well,
just like Bush can't take it. That Trump learned really quickly.
Go right at him.
Go right at him. Just tell him no. Get in his face. He can't handle it on. He can't do it on his feet.
Also, disrespect him apparently is what he learned, because that fucking shit was disrespectful.
Yeah,
you don't tell a former governor and another presidential candidate, shh, my turn to talk.
Quiet.
Fuck. If I don't care who I am, I'm 50 years old. You tell me to be quiet. I am coming up over that podium at you.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fist fight.
But I mean, every single time, Bush comes back at him with like a look of like, did he really just do this to me?
Yeah.
It just makes him look like a pussy.
Right, no. I'd go over and take the fucking mic away. I'd be like, quiet. You're quiet now.
Yeah.
You talk too much as it is. Or I'd hit him in the head with the fucking mic.
And then as Bush walks back to his podium, Trump just quiet the whole time.
Yeah.
Just doesn't play into it. He's just like, hey, Bush, dum-dum, lavalier, fuck you. New York.
But no, so what we
92Q coming live.
shout out to shut ups. But no, so New Hampshire is passed, and what we learned is that the Democrats really want Hillary to win.
Yeah,
and they're going to do anything it takes to do that.
Did you watch the debate, by the way?
I didn't even know there was a debate.
The one where she wore a banana suit?
Yes.
Or she looked like a kabuki dancer? Did you?
No. I literally found out about that debate because you tweeted about it. And I think you found it accidentally.
No.
Did you know it was happening?
Yeah, I knew it happened.
Oh, okay. Well, so the one before you didn't know.
I do fear Rachel is getting very tired of all the debates.
Watching debates.
Well, no, because we came home and she's just like, so what are we doing? And I'm just like, well, there's a debate tonight. And she's just like, oh, great. It's like the most angry I've seen her. Like she's like, oh, okay, debate.
Yeah. So, I forgot. I have to get up real early.
I'm actually getting kind of tired.
But yeah, so what we learned in New Hampshire, I think, is that Bernie has a fucking head of steam, and I don't know that the party's going to be able to hold it back, because I think people in South Carolina and Nevada are going to be pissed about New Hampshire.
You know what? I think somebody's got to have like a real serious talk with Hillary's campaign.
Yeah.
Because her plan, you could tell what she's going to do with the debate that they just had was she's going to hug up against Obama.
Right.
Glom onto this like if you liked what happened with Obama, I'm just a continuation of that.
Yeah. But Bernie shut that down.
I'm more of the same of Obama. And then what Bernie did was allow that to go on for a little while. He let her do that for a couple rounds. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you could tell on her face she wasn't even prepared for this. He says, you know who's not a friend of mine? Henry Kissinger. Like, I'm glad to say he's not a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And then Hillary was just like, what? It's just like, where the fuck did that come from?
Well, but he pulled.
And then all of a sudden, they go to her and they're just like, well, you think Henry Kissinger's a friend? And she's just like, well... and that knocked her on her heels, and she was just like, "Wait, do I have to defend this now, or like what?"
He pulled a Chris Christie though. He went right at her on. He took her off the talking points.
Yeah,
and I mean, Chris Christie did instead of taking Marco Rubio off the talking points, he just said
he pointed out the fact that he's got the talking points. Yeah.
That's his 20-second speech. There it is again. That's the same one he gave earlier,
and that's the one I told you when we were watching it. That Republican debate when he did that.
Yeah.
And I said somebody was watching The West Wing.
Right.
Because that's what they did in the election between Bush and...
2006 election? Is that what it
was? Right, yeah, something like that.
The 2006 election on The West Wing.
Or no, it was 2010?
No, because 10 was the last year of that show.
No, it was 2002.
Was it 2?
Yeah.
The 2 election? The show ended in 6?
Because it was season 3... They started doing the election.
I thought that his first
because it started in
was...
'99. So season 3-4 was the election.
Right. So 2002.
Yeah.
And then 06. Did the show end in 2006? Has it been that long?
It was on for 7 seasons. Started in '99. So yeah, 2006.
All right. So then that was when Santos.
Yeah.
The Santos part.
Right.
Santos.
But during the election where it was Bartlett and Brolin.
Jed.
Yeah.
Jed. Sorry.
Jed.
Jedediah.
Yeah.
Jedediah.
The guy was playing a W-like character.
Yeah.
and he did his like 7-second or his 17-syllable response or something like that. And then Bartlett was just like, "That's it. That's the one my staff's been looking for the entire week. 17-syllable response."
Yeah.
But we're so much more than 17-syllable responses, and and goes on. It's just like, "Game on." I just remember that shot clearly. Just Josh be like, "Game on." Standing up.
Well, because I think he was slacking in the polls at that point, and that was like the big comeback,
right?
Like the big push through. So yeah. But
how they was that they fought for only one debate.
Right.
They knew they knew that Bartlett would beat him on debates if they had enough, so they only agreed to one.
Right.
So he had to nail it out of the gate, and he wasn't looking strong going into it.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I got to say, I'm glad that we have a woman here for a different perspective, because clearly we have a Hillary voter in the House.
If I read one more feminist article about why my hearers are telling me that I'm going to a special place in hell for voting for somebody purely on their genitalia, which is the most anti-feminist thing to say to somebody, I'm going to throw my laptop through my wall. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because but clearly you're voting for Hillary, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I have a vagina. I want somebody who also has a vagina. No, I'm going to vote for somebody who's going to do more for me and my feminist ideals. Like Bernie Sanders.
More times than vagina.
Clearly you're hysterical. Can you calm down?
Listen.
I know. This is why we need...
It's that time of the month
Listen.
for her. Don't anger her. Just throw chocolate and be quiet, okay?
But yeah, it's... I hate
she
you.
just ignores it. That's the appropriate response.
Yeah, so...
Flash is my favorite type of feminist who gets that I'm joking with her. Though.
Yes, yeah.
Well,
she doesn't
I've
mind
been
being barefoot
hanging out,
in the kitchen.
Yeah, because I've been hanging out with Rob for so long that, like, I know...
Well, he's not joking.
I'm just an asshole. Everybody thinks I'm joking. I don't understand it.
But, yeah, I can't fathom the idea of somebody saying, well, you should vote for this person because they're also a woman and first female president. And I'm like, no, I want somebody in the White House who's going to matter and change things, not just somebody in there because...
Here's why I can't trust your opinion. Because you saw a picture of Bernie when he was like 20 and you thought he was cute. And
I actually said swoon.
Yes. I can't put any trust in anything that anyone would say. Because, listen, I like Bernie for his politics. I think he's a passionate man. He looks like Larry David, which makes me chuckle. Or Larry David looks like him. I'm not sure which one of them's older. Bernie's probably older. So, nonetheless. Never has he been an attractive man. He has always just been a passionate man.
Yeah.
He is... Okay, so...
He is a man of passion.
My first crush ever was Atticus Finch, which is a person who doesn't exist.
Right.
Yeah.
Bernie is Atticus Finch.
I don't know that that's the case.
Except for in To Go Set a Watchman, because Atticus changes and kind of becomes a dick.
Yeah, and I was going to say, are we saying that Bernie's going to become a dick at the end of this thing? Because I don't think that...
I think we've already reached the point where he would have become that way.
Oh, I don't know. Wait till he gets into office and he's like,
well, you
fuckers.
See, the thing is...
Now I'm a dick.
Obama, when he initially ran, he ran on the Hope and Change platform. And then he goes in and he's pretty much business as usual Democrat.
Yes.
And, obviously he had a lot of breaks go his way where he was able to get a lot of things. He was able to line up a lot of accomplishments, which helps his legacy.
It broke the Constitution, but that's okay.
Right, but I'm saying, like, he's going to be a pivotal president.
Yes.
Like, he's not a forgotten, he's not a Millard Fillmore or, Franklin Pierce.
I don't know if you know this, he was the first black president, so he'll always be remembered.
Well, yeah, I mean, clearly, but I'm saying on achievement, too, on things that were accomplished during his time.
Right.
He has placed enough of a flag to levy himself as an important president, whether or not it turns out to be good or bad.
If Bernie doesn't become president, I honestly would rather Trump become president because that's the other way that we're going to get a revolution. Because people are going to uprise and be like, screw this.
Well, and here's the thing. I don't know that if... And we keep repeating the same things, and it's week to week, but it's very important. Just because you vote for Bernie, if you vote for the same asshole for Congress and the same asshole for Senate, then voting for Bernie don't mean shit because you're not going to be able to get anything done. And Bernie's the guy who said that he said before that governing by executive action isn't the way that we're supposed to govern.
Right.
And so he's been saying all along, we need a political revolution. We need to get new congressmen and new senators who will do what we want them to do. So if you keep voting for the same assholes, you're going to get the same result. Don't do that.
The problem is, I think that so many people, like, when they look at Congress and they're just like, oh, how many seats is it in Congress right now?
495.
Yeah. So, you know,
in the House.
Right.
There's 100 in the Senate.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, with the House, you say 495, Jesus Christ, what does one make any difference?
Yeah.
And collectively, everyone has that response, which is the same argument that's been like, you know, like, why vote? It won't make any difference, you know? Like, and then we get 75% people stay home on election day, and it would have made a huge difference, you know?
And except for Obama's years, it's actually been way higher than 75%. Like, turnout's like 13% of eligible voters.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, like we get maybe 25% of registered voters, but 13% of eligible voters. Yeah. People just don't even bother.
Isn't it Australia where it's mandatory to vote?
It's a slight myth.
I don't want it to be mandatory to vote. There's people who shoot guns out of cars. And I don't need people who collect buckets of rats deciding the future.
Yeah, by the way, that guy,
for president?
That guy nullifies your vote. By the way, your
Trump
vote doesn't count because he's voting for Trump.
My vote doesn't count to begin with because whoever I probably vote for isn't going to, unless I vote Democratic this
What you need to do
election cycle
in order for his vote to not count is just get a bucket of live rats and dump them out.
Distract him on election day. Oh, by the way, Republicans, this message especially for you. I have an inside line from my Democratic friends. Obama is coming for your guns on November 8th of this year. So you need to make sure you stay home, guard your guns.
Lock yourself away in the gun cabinet.
Don't leave your house. I want you to pretend that you're Cory on Valentine's Day. Don't leave the house. Lock yourself in. Stay home. And then by the next morning, it'll all clear out. Speaking of which, tomorrow's Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
What are your big plans for tomorrow?
Well, I have to go to work. And then I'm going to come back here. And I'm just going to stay in.
I picture you driving to work like an old lady, like elbows out, very carefully.
I'm going to be wearing,
which is going to cause you to have an accident.
Going to be wearing my bubble suit,
yeah,
my bubble boy suit,
yeah, yep.
Listening to bubble butt.
Also, another great campaign from Hillary.
Yes. So, to those who have been faithfully listening for the this is the third Valentine's Day for the podcast.
No, it's second, isn't it? Second.
Second?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're coming up on the third anniversary. Yeah. So anyway, so the second. As we talked about last year, Cory has a fear of Valentine's Day.
I don't have a fear of Valentine's Day. I have a bad luck on February 14th.
Okay. So it's not a fear of Valentine's Day. It's the 14th, which happens.
It's a bad luck day.
Yeah.
And listen, last year, Rob and EP were over here, and they mocked me.
Yes.
They said, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Bad things don't happen. You've been in the house all day. How could bad things happen? Blah, 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 blah. We had recorded the podcast. Y'all made fun of me on that.
Yes, we did.
And then the podcast ended, and we were sitting here just watching TV or whatever.
Yeah.
Chilling. And I believe about 15 minutes prior, you said something along the lines of like, well, we're almost done the day, and what bad has happened so far?
Yeah.
And then the entire basement and studio flooded.
After I left. I don't think I was here.
So basically,
you were here.
You just need to hang out.
Yeah, you were here.
Oh, was that when this thing got here? Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we had to call up Rachel and have her bring over a shop vac so I could clear out. And shit got ruined and...
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
I had nothing to do with pipes bursting.
Happen.
Yeah. No, but you were wishing it on yourself.
No.
It's the secret, man. If you think it...
Close your eyes. Picture tomorrow. Picture positivity going through you.
I hear that song, the...
Don't picture a tree falling on your car.
The song from Damien. Yeah.
Don't picture that. Picture nothing but positivity. It's going to be a good day tomorrow.
I should move my car.
After I wish that bad juju on you?
I should move to the parking lot of the church or something like that.
And then all of a sudden the church burns down or something.
An old lady trying to get the mass just hits me.
Son of a bitch! But so I wish you best of luck. Make sure you check in, and I'm sure everyone who's following at Legend75 on Twitter will find out.
If I tragically go tomorrow, make sure you post the podcast in my honor.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get around to it.
Or I'll just do a, hey, podcast will be late. Or never. Corey's dead. This is Rob.
Do you want to prep one of those in memorandum things again?
Just take the one that we did and just
Change
crudely cross out the end here.
Actually, it was 5. Was it 5? No, it was 4.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Because if it was 5, I could just close off that 5 and it would be easy. But, well, I'm not trying to put that much effort in.
I would like that if one of us does pass, though, we do the thing that Top Gear had, or what they had discussed. Did you ever hear this?
No.
As somebody on Top Gear passed, they had an agreement amongst them that they were going to do. Unfortunately, Richard Hammond died after that. Anyway, moving on, and then just right on to the next thing. Yeah, no, like.
Oh, good.
He will be missed. He will just. I'll start off the podcast. I'll be like, "Ladies and gentlemen, Rob is dead." Moving on. I saw Brooklyn.
The wrong people's Facebook.
I saw Brooklyn this week.
Right. Yeah, I mean, give him at least a cause of death. Be like, listen, he posted the wrong image on the wrong person's Facebook, and shit got real. When keeping it real goes wrong,
blue line don't break.
Well, and one thing we didn't get to, and all I'm going to say about it is...
Wait, real quick,
go ahead.
Before you get into it.
No, not that. I'm not going to get into that.
Oh, okay.
We'll save that for another time. All I was going to say is that the Super Bowl was last week. There's a lot of controversy around it. All I'm going to say is I think our color commentary for the Super Bowl was better than the actual Super Bowl.
I honestly... Listen, I'm not trying to say we're all that in a bag of potato chips. But... that Super Bowl was boring as shit. And I feel like if you had just listened to 3 hours of the Anthem podcast, you probably would have been more entertained.
Yes. And we'd have way more than 3 hours.
The game was boring as shit. There wasn't a single commercial worth a damn. The halftime show was fucking pointless.
Well, Dr. Frankenfurt wore it better.
Puppy monkey baby. Puppy monkey baby.
Which
puppy,
is terrifying. Every single time I see it, I'm like, I'm not stoned for this.
Well, no, I saw that. And my initial reaction was, God damn it, you're trying to make something sell.
Yes.
Like you're just trying like I'm not it's not possible for you to sell me on this at this point. Like I'm so aware that it's happening.
Oh my. And the only thing that I will close out with is just we'll touch on it more next week. We don't have a Baltimore corner this week because we ran out of time, but D-Ray,
we've been running hard.
D-Ray fucking killing it in the city.
Yeah.
Get him, D-Ray. Get him. All right. That's all I have to say.
We'll get into it more next week.
Yes. Well, and what he's going to put out I mean, he put out a proposal. Apparently, he's coming out with full-length plans. Like, these are the details this week. So, it'll be better just to wait anyway.
Yeah.
Get him, D-Ray.
Meanwhile, Sheila Dixon has written out most of her proposals on the back of gift card
receipts.
Yeah, those holders, the ones.
Yeah. And then she looked up from the desk and said, who? D-Ray who? Who is this now? Yeah, so.
Cal who?
Out of touch, Sheila.
What, Ripken?
You're killing me. Sheila. Anything I would have had for you. I just can't.
What do you think the chances are for the Orioles this year, Sheila Dixon? Well, I think Brooks Robinson's really good at third base.
Doing well.
That Jim Palmer, he looks great in that underwear.
Oh God, yeah, that's a good picture. I'll have to find that picture.
just do a long scroll.
Jim Palmer in his underwear. All right. Oh yeah.
That's the Flash is looking at me weird, but that's like basically the pose he had. He had like one of those like.
Do you know who Jim Palmer is?
No.
Hall of Fame pitcher for the Orioles, and in '84, the year after the World Series. Was it 84? No, it would have been earlier than that.
Okay,
70.
But
70.
the pose that Corey did is one that I think most women have seen where it was like, well, it's there, so what are you going to do about it?
That was his underwear pose. That's what he did.
He did a hands on the hip, like, oh, this old thing? Kind of.
Yeah. So, that's a thing that he did. And we had a picture of it from like years ago. So I think Corey's looking it up.
Yeah, hold on a second. I gotta wistfully remember back then. Yeah. Oh no, here it is. It's an actual point. It's a point and a smile. Here, hand this to Flash.
Okay. That's Jim Palmer.
Oh God, that's exactly the pose.
In his jacket.
I've seen that pose. Oh my God.
That's the present. He's doing the presentation.
God.
Like what you see? Yeah.
Which then you know
Yeah.
it's stuffed. If you have to do it like that.
Never know.
As Becky and Gina would like to say, oh my God, sploosh.
Oh, Becky and Gina. It's been 1 year since Becky and Gina, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Gotta give those bitches a call.
Yeah. You know where we might find them?
Where's that?
OhTheAnthem.com. Cory to OhTheAnthem.com. Thank you, Daddy. The Anthem on Facebook. Mobby nominated Twitter. Mobby nominated Instagram. And the listener line. 443-219-7595.
What's that number again?
443-219-7595.
And you can find me on our social networks at Robert and Cheek. Make sure you check out robertandcheek.com, where you can find links to all of the stuff everywhere, including the revamped foundingthefuture.us. I encourage you greatly to check out that website.
The views of foundingthefuture.us are not those of the Anthem or the Anthem podcast. Or Cory.
And you can also find links to the books on Amazon. New books coming this year. I am doing the finishing touches on those, and I'm super stoked about that. So, where can people find you online?
They can find me on Instagram at Ironic Hipster handle, and then also on every other social media at T Verheyen, and that's TVERHYEN. And yeah.
And you can find her commenting on basically everything that we post, because I didn't want to say this at the beginning, but this is superfan Flash.
Yeah.
Who?
Well, before I was looking yesterday, because we didn't even get to our pushing the social media stuff. I guess we'll do that.
Oh shit!
Some more next week as well.
Yeah.
But there's been I was reading comments last night on iTunes.
Yes.
The review comments, and Flash left a very nice one.
Oh.
I want to thank you for it. Now that I have you.
Also, I may or may not have been stealing a lot of my drunk friends' phones and just automatically downloading it on, or when I have to
And
pick
just
them
giving it 5-star reviews.
Yeah. And
So
It's all
we
right.
highly recommend you taking your drunk friends' phones, picking up their RSS feed of choice, whether
Yeah.
that's iTunes or whether it's Dogcatcher or Stitcher, subscribing to the podcast so it automatically downloads to them, and then giving a 5-star rating and a short review just saying, these guys are awesome, check them out, whatever.
Right.
Flash does it, you should do it too.
It's not illegal.
I'm sure it's not.
It's free. It's not illegal. It's just
and
something you do.
You know what? Usually they
You
find
might-
it and they love it.
You might end up on a list of some
The
kind.
views of Cory are not mine, they're his and his alone. That's not legal advice by which you should govern your own affairs. Okay, anyway, sorry, what?
Anywho.
That's telephone misuse,
Yeah,
probably. Yeah. Computer hacking, depending. Yeah.
Wait, I'm a hacker now?
Possibly. And you've just admitted that to... Don't worry. It's a secret safe between just, you know.
Us
You, me, and the internet.
Yes!
Yeah, so. Anyway, anything else? Good?
Good.
All right.
Well, we've done good here today.
We've done something. I don't know if it's good. But you've been listening to...
Buy Rob's books.
Oh. Cory's got, like, product placement Tourette's.
Yeah.
Amazon link! Click the banner. Harry's Razors.
Jerry's Bear.
Monkey baby something.
Puppy monkey baby.
Puppy monkey baby.
Castrol baby.
Baby.
As always, you've been listening to the The Anthem podcast, part of the The Anthem digital network. For Cory and Flash, this is Rob. Have a great week, everybody.
I know we didn't talk about it all, but did you know it's not sexual harassment to just drop your dick on some girl's head?
It depends how much money you have. That's whether it's sexual harassment.
And your last name
I was
is
just
Nate.
trying to moon a teammate, and all of a sudden my dick landed on your head.